Hi guys, what's up? It's Alex here, and today we're back with Toca 3. Now, technology is a wonderful thing, however, when something fails to record, it's never the nicest thing in the world. Audacity was recording throughout this whole race, and I was going to do highlights anyway, because this isn't the most interesting race whatsoever. But Audacity only recorded like the last third of this about 30-minute video in total. And yeah, that was a little bit annoying, but I'm going to bring you the highlights of the best bits of the race. And I'm not going to lie, this is a Formula Palmer Jaguar, I think, and it's probably the most boring series in this whole game. The cars, you can't really race wheel to wheel with each other, and overall they're really not that fun to drive. But that isn't going to stop me from trying to win this race and championship. There's two races. First off is the Chinese Grand Prix track, which you're watching here. This race goes on for about 20 minutes, I think, and the second race in the series is Laguna Seca, and that race goes on for about 12 minutes. So I think overall it was about a 35-minute video or something like that. I'm not really too sure off the top of my head now, but you can see here I'm getting the moves done. I mean, I'm not very used to this car, so I'm driving off the track quite a bit. But really, the AI difficulty on this sort of track and this series were just so slow. I couldn't really believe it at first how slow they were, but we managed to pull away from them, and a little bit of a cut there. I didn't really mean to, and then running wide, so we sort of lost all the time we gained by just clipping the apex a bit too much. Now down the back straightaway, how fast is this Formula Palmer Jaguar? I don't really know. I'd say about 170 probably it's be its peak. And it's only got 6 gears, 165, 166, 167. So you can see it's about the 170 mile/hour mark. So it's the same sort of speed, probably just a little bit faster over a lap than a GP3 car. And obviously that's hard to predict because GP3 cars don't race around China. But I think it's pretty much similar sort of lap time. But here we are going to the pit lane. Obviously this is the first series that we have to make a mandatory pit stop, and I'm deciding to do it on lap 1, so I can fight my way back up through the field. And there, so you've got no damage, which is good. Well, I've got one second's worth of suspension damage, which I might change, but I don't think that's really much, and I'll do that now. And one thing that's cool, that it speeds up through the pit lane, so you don't actually have to wait like 15 or however many seconds. There we go, out the pit lane, and away we go. And it's just a pretty boring series in general, I think, so what I'm going to do is probably just skip pretty much to the last lap of the race, and I think that's probably more interesting really, just to get the series out of the way and then check back next week. Here we are, last lap of the race. This race has been going on for about 16 minutes or so here, so I maybe exaggerated a bit saying it would go on for over 20 minutes, but yeah, this was, let's just say, a pretty boring race in general. I mean, I think I had like 2 penalties or 2 sort of warnings for cutting corners, even though in my mind it was not a corner cut, it was just me running wide over the grass and actually losing time out of it. Yeah, you'll see what's going to happen here, because going down to the last corner, braking, you know, about right, turning into the corner, just running a little bit wide. What? Disqualified. We're going to go around the final turn in the car. That's annoying. That is really annoying. Because in all honesty, I don't think I deserved a penalty for running wide.
Take that smirk off your face before I knock it off. You beat me this time, but I'll tell you right now, it'll never happen again.
He's mad. Anyway, as I said, this is a post-recording commentary, so we're going to go through all the menus. We finished last. After having a lead of nearly 40 seconds, we get disqualified with 1 turn to go. Now, that's disappointing, obviously, but there is only one way to fight back through all this, and that is to do even better in Laguna Seca and try and regain the points I've lost. It's put us 11th in the championship. And fingers crossed now that this race will go a lot better to plan. Championship details, 3rd or above. I was like, at that point I was like, I'm not going to be able to do this unless I win and they all crash out. So I have my fingers crossed that I was going to do right in this race, but it's really hard to tell how everybody else will do in this race. And here we are. I have to pit once again. I don't know why. I could have really good race pace, but the starts are horrible, dropping down a couple of positions there. Down to 12th. Now just accelerating all the way down to turn 1. I think a slightly different gear ratio may be in place for Laguna Seca, because it's not quite as fast in general as China. and a little bit of contact with the other cars, but they go so slowly. I just don't understand it, how these can be so slow on these cars on these tracks, and in other cars, other tracks, they're about the same pace as me, so that's a bit annoying. But there we can see they're pushed off into the gravel, going around the outside. I left lots of good room, and he seemed to barge his way off the track into the side of me, and I was off in the gravel. Going for late moves down the inside, and myself doing a bit of pushing of other cars, because now I'm mad. I got disqualified from the last race, and now I'm down at 11th, nowhere near the points paying position, because I don't know, I think it was 8th maybe? No, actually no, sorry, it was 10th that scored points, so maybe a bit closer than I expected here, but I was thinking in my mind at this point in the race, 8th, I've got to get that to get 1 point. That's what I thought, but obviously 10th gets you a point. So I'm actually in the points paying positions at the moment. You've got in front of us, we've got Ransford. He's second place in the championship at the moment. I can just see I'm just so much faster. And I wasn't even planning to pit there, but the guy in front of me was just shoving me off the track. And I tried to cheat there, maybe. I sort of just tried to be a bit sneaky there and sort of cheat my way past him after he ran me off the track, but that didn't really work, because I don't think I'm going to come out in front of him. I think I might have got a little bit of damage. And there we are, coming out the pit lane. Did we come out in front of him? I'm not really too sure. But anyway, let's skip ahead to the last lap. Look at the lead we have got. This race is only going on for just over 10 minutes. I don't understand why the first race was quite so long. But at this point in the race, we've got a 30-second advantage about that sort of gap. And I'm just going to cruise to the finish here, because I know I don't cut any corners or, you know, just run wide, because the game seems to give you penalties for that as well. I'm not going to lose this win, and you can see I've got slightly damaged suspension, but that really isn't going to pay too much dividends towards the end of this race. All I've got to do now is just really glide to the finish. I don't really need to push at all, but the racer in me wants to push to the end, and off I go at the corkscrew, nearly destroying my whole race, because if I'd gone any faster into there, I would have easily knocked off one of my wheels. I've got really heavy steering damage, and you can see there I've got engine damage and also transmission damage, and I'm really lucky to actually get out of the corkscrew so easy after that crash. Now here we are, final turn. I don't know why I didn't just, you know, lift off the gas a little bit and not crash into the wall, but here we are across the line to finish the race in first position. After a disappointing first race, we win the second race. How will we do in the championship? Auto saving. Oh. So it doesn't even tell us the championship position, it just says you can no longer compete in this championship, or you can no longer complete the objective. 33-second gap. And yeah, well, that's pretty much it for this episode, guys. I can tell you I did go back and redo this challenge. I didn't record it because I really just couldn't be bothered to do another live commentary over it. And yeah, so I went back and did that. I won both the races and the championship. Tune in to the next episode in about a week's time for more great racing. I think next up is V8 Supercars. Some really great racing there, guys. V8 Supercars, probably the best episode so far. So be sure to tune in. It's been Alex, I'm out here. Goodbye.